You are with a group of friends or some colleagues, and suddenly you are given a topic to speak. Hey, tell us about what are your goals in this company? Wouldn't you fall from the cliff? Not even sure how to organize your thoughts, where to start, where to end, how to even structure it all. We have all been there, isn't it? And in today's episode, we are going to decode the entire concepts of impromptu communication, which is all about speaking at that point of time, in that moment, speaking extempore. Welcome to episode number 22, Daily Live with Dr. Surya. If you're new here, please do make sure that you hit that follow button, the subscribe button. Make sure to connect with me across all the links that's given below. And most importantly, ensure that you get your cohort ticket signed up, because we are just working with 10 people in the month of December, and it's so power packed that we can't wait to help you. Yogeshwari and I handhold you into mastering these skills, which are literally life savers. Let's get started. There are some very simple frameworks. Before we even get to the frameworks, it's also important to understand that the best way to connect with your audience is to ask a question. So the first way to kickstart the opening hook is by asking questions. The first would be an immersive question, which means, have you ever been asked to speak? How would that make you feel? And immediately you put the audience in a trance where they start thinking. The second will be smiling, because at the end, it's not always about sharing something. It's always about being there, present, and making people feel calm. It's important to understand whoever's listening to you, they're actually at that point of time with you. So, to maintain that calmness and composure. The third is to really help by setting the context. When you follow that steps, followed up with a question and all, you're actually setting a context, just like how I did it. Today, we're going to understand all of the impromptu communication frameworks. So, it all boils down to, you don't have to speak a lot. Even in Toastmasters meetings, the maximum time allotted for impromptu is 2 minutes. So, the way that it goes is, you just need one story, one message, one topic, one call to action. Just keep this in mind and start preparing and organizing your thoughts accordingly. It works. So in the Toastmasters, what happens is, you walk up to the stage and you are immediately at that point of time given the topic. And you have to organize, you have to think, you have to present. So the best way that I do it is, I take a couple of seconds time to just organize my thoughts and then proceed with everything. So we're going to go through those very simple techniques. The first is one point. So let's just say we'll take one very simple topic which all of us can work towards. What is life according to you? Now you might look at, either you want to give gyan, you want to talk about your experiences, you have a lot of different things to talk about. But the simplest way to go about it is, what would be those one or two experiences in your life that has actually made you realize the power of life? So for me, it could be an episode where I almost drowned while swimming, and the high tides were already on. A group of friends were there. There was nothing that they could do. I was just moving away and away and away from the shoreline, pretty far, almost, what, 600, 700 meters beyond the shoreline. I had already moved out. So I had to kind of swim myself back, but I was not able to. So it could be a very simple story, but the story itself is going to have the message embedded. So the way to go forward is, I'll give you an example. My biggest lesson was learning to pause. This is given by Clara. I used to rush replies and misunderstanding my audience, the story, the message. When decided to slow down, that's when it helped me build trust with my audience. And call to action is, the next time you try to share something important, just pause, because it changes everything. Now, I've just given you an overall structure. You can implement this as and when you practice one-to-one conversation on stage, doesn't really matter, but try to keep it within 2 minutes. I'll give you a demonstration at the end of this session itself. The second will be when you are on stage. So let's just say you are invited on stage to share your thoughts on leadership. Now you can go about giving gyan. Leadership is all about ensuring that we understand our juniors properly. We are setting the roadmap for them to follow through. All of those things are good, fine, but people will resonate with your stories. So it could be, there was this one time when I was working, I had attended an interview. In the interview, I was given a task to interact. Imagine that all the people within the room were kids, and I need to do an exercise which moves people straightforward. Now, there were around 7 people in that interview room, and the leaders of the company were also there, who were conducting the entire interview. There were 3 of them. we were all given turns to do our bit of the segment that we have prepared as if we're interacting with the kids. And the way that I did is I did an emotions exercise. So everyone come closer to the camera, smile for me, become angry. All these different things is what I made them do. And guess what? They did it not neither. They didn't just enjoy that entire segment. They went on with a takeaway. I was hired. I knew already that I would be hired. And it's not just that I was hired. The manager who interacted with me was kind enough to give me so much of hand holdings that for the next 3 months, of course, within the next 3 months, she got fired, I got fired, the company went through a massive shakeup. But I learned so much, and I realized if I'm ever going to have my own company, it'll always be to trust the people I hire. If I find the best, I'm going to take care and manage them like ever before. Now, I just gave you a very, very simple story, and it is a pretty decent story about leadership from my personal experience. This is what will stay with the audience every single time you say. The second thing will be to connect, continue, and complete. So I think I've discussed this previously as well. The moment you ask a question, how many of you would like to learn impromptu communication? I remember the first time when I spoke, I completely fumbled it, wasn't even sure how to go about it. Second time I spoke, managed to win the Best Impromptu Speaker Award. That was because I just shared a story. I want you to think of the story that immediately you would like to share when it comes to your speaking for the first time on stage. Don't you think when you are vulnerable, your audience will connect with you? A very, very simple example. I connected my personal stuff. I continued with transitioning to you, and then I completed it by asking you another question of your call to action that you can immediately take. Now, I've done this over and over and over and over again, so it's pretty much become my muscle memory. What is important for you to understand is how well can you practice it, and it all just goes on and on. As the more you practice, the better you become. The third thing is to understand how to end and carry the entire conversation forward. This is exclusively for interpersonal communication. The first thing is to acknowledge. Second thing is to invite. The third thing is to bridge. So acknowledge is, okay, based upon whatever you said me, this is what I observed. Would you like to elaborate some more? This carries forward the conversation. Second, this is my perspective. This is what I feel. What's your take on this? Important. So that way you create that space for the other person as well, and you're carrying forward the conversation. The third is, it's pretty interesting that you said this, because while you were sharing this, I'm reminded of something. Is it okay if I can share? And then you share, take the conversation forward. These are the three elements: the acknowledge, invite, and bridge. So finally, now if I have to share, how did I prepare for this particular session? And of course, it's a single take one, so I don't even believe in re-recording or anything. Even if it's mistakes, I'm absolutely okay to commit mistakes in front of everyone. So the way that I go through is I prepare the stories that I would like to share, the points that I would like to deliver, and then go about just kickstarting what's the first thing that I'm going to say. Now, let's just say if I'm given a platform on a TEDx stage or in front of a big, big summit when I'm invited in as a speaker, the best way to go about it is I was walking up on the stage and I realized that a pin just went underneath my shoe. Now, it was all very nice because I was getting some kind of a weird jitters while I was walking up the stage. I wanted to run in, but something was holding me back and I was limping onto the stage, thinking, what if my shoe didn't exist? How would have I run back then? There is immediate laugh. So there's immediate response from the audience. Hi, my name is Surya, and I am going to speak about the power of leadership in communication. But before I do that, how many of you believe that communication is a secret key to becoming a great leader? Show of hands. There you go. This is how I would have started. And then, of course, I would have continued with some of the stories and all that whatnot. So this is how this would be my take on the topic. Yeah. So here's what you need to do. You need to continue practicing these impromptu skills based upon whatever you've learned. Keep practicing more, keep sharing your thoughts, and do let me know below what are the additional things that you'd like me to cover in the future episodes. So far, I've just given you 3 frameworks, but when you join us for the live cohort, we'll not just teach you the frameworks, we'll actually make you do. And along with that, we will evaluate you. You will be evaluating each other. And it's going to be a crazy, crazy experience. All the details are given below. Do check them out. And I will see you in the next episode.